Welcome to our podcast where we talk about the interesting, frustrating, and inspiring experience we have as people with strongly held religious views working in corporate IT. We're not here to preach or teach you our religion or lack thereof. We're here to explore ways we make our career as IT professionals mesh, or at least not conflict with, our religious life. This is Technically Religious.
This is a continuation of the discussion we started last week. Thank you for coming back to join our conversation.
So up until a few years ago, I was one of those people where if you said happy holidays to me, I would say Merry Christmas back because, it's Christmas time and you got to put the Christ in Christmas, right?
Sure.
And my wife and I were talking about this just the other day, yesterday, I think. And we have decided that regardless of what holiday someone wishes us, our response is going to be, thank you. You too. I mean, holy crap, right? It's like mind-blowing.
Radical.
What a crazy idea. Just saying thank you.
And she said, I posted this to Facebook that I'm going to do this. And she's like, I wonder how many people are going to be offended. And I thought, who in the world's going to be offended by saying thank you? You too.
Okay. And the answer is?
Well, this is Facebook, so.
Yeah, right. Everybody.
I was going to say, how many hundreds of responses about this is part of the war on Christmas have you gotten so far?
I don't know. I don't go on Facebook, so I have no idea. I don't have an account anymore. So I don't know. I get it, right? I'm with Doug. If for you Christmas is about the birth of the Savior, pro tip. Jesus was born where there were shepherds who had their flock in the fields. It was not December. Just saying. Anyway, so if that's the time of year in which you get aligned to your faith in Christ, go for it. But don't rob other people of the reason that they like to celebrate. For me, and for people that I like to associate with, Christmas is a time where we get together with friends and family, where we bring, we bring this idea of being increasingly generous with those around us, where we're reminded that we need to be generous. So for me, it's not really this dueling religion thing at Christmas or, whatever holidays happen to fall around this time of year. It's, hey, there's this spirit of generosity and camaraderie. Let's just get together and hang out, and we don't have to call it a Christmas party. All Christmas party planners at corporate offices need to probably hear that message. It doesn't need to be a Christmas party. It can just be a party.
A party, right? End of year party and stuff like that. But we're gonna offer some insights based on this. So as a non-Christian, I think one of the challenges about this time of year, also again that comparative religion conversation in the worst possible setting ever, is the need of some folks to say, but your holiday is just the same as ours. Like, to find equivalence where there isn't necessarily equivalence. Hanukkah isn't, the Jewish Christmas. There's no such thing as a Hanukkah Bush. There is no such thing as a Hanukkah Charlie. And it doesn't need to exist. It goes into this homogenization of, well, everyone can celebrate Christmas in their heart. We don't need to do that. I don't need to be included, because that becomes, unfortunately for me, and I apologize, I'm going to get a little bit prickly here, it becomes a little threatening for me, because that leads, that dovetails into being proselytized to or at in a very uncomfortable situation. Again, we're talking about an office party. And to have a coworker or a boss suddenly raising this, but everyone believes in Jesus. No, everyone doesn't. And insisting that I do puts me in a very difficult position where, my desire to be authentic as a Jew and my desire to be employed as a human are suddenly possibly in conflict.
I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a crap disturber, but I would definitely recommend brushing up on what historians are now calling the authentic Jesus. And he was a real crap disturber. So, I mean, you could be like, oh yeah, let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about how he did this, and kicked over these tables, and made a mockery of. Oh wait, no, let's not talk about that because that's not really.
Yeah, something tells me that wouldn't go towards making the party more of a festive occasion.
I think it would make it very festive, actually.
I was going to say, festive in a very completely different way, yeah.
Josh is never being invited to a party ever again. Yeah.
Right.
That would solve it.
There's also, and unfortunately this has happened to me, this desire, everyone likes Christmas, even in their heart, even if they don't know it. This insistence of, you just haven't tried it. You haven't tried the right one yet. Or whatever, and come take a look at this beautiful Christmas tree. Wouldn't you love to have a Christmas tree like this? Isn't this great? And right behind it is this wall full of crucifixes, and then they take a picture, and all of a sudden it becomes a picture of the Orthodox Jew looking up at and admiring, a Christmas tree and a wall of crucifixes, and it becomes this, caption this photo contest. I'm not interested in being in your picture like that.
Leon wonders why people put pine trees in their houses. That would be my caption.
It can get really prickly. It can, people get caught up in the holiday and in their love of the holiday, their enjoyment of the holiday. When you discover spin class, which Josh, you and I have said, CrossFit is a cult.
It is.
But the desire to have everyone else involved in CrossFit or, veganism or whatever it is. Like, you love it so much, you need other people to love it just as much.
I will say, and maybe this is completely counter to what we've been talking about, but I have received a Christmas card from a Muslim friend this year already. Very first one I received. And I have neighbors that are Muslim, and they will, without fail, bring us a Christmas gift. We have some Muslim friends who were neighbors that are now friends because they've moved a few blocks away, but they will make the trek over to our house every year to bring us an authentic, I believe they're from Iran, so they will bring us an authentic Iranian festive dish to share at Christmas because they know that it's important to us. I don't know how to take that whole corporate thing, though, and make it. Like, human beings act so good to one another one-on-one. It's when we get into these large groups that suddenly things get real awkward, right?
Actually, that's an interesting point that I think that people don't understand with the so-called war on Christmas. Like, Jews, Muslims, we don't care that Christians celebrate Christmas. Good for you. It's fun, it looks nice and everything. Just don't make it the default and assume that everyone celebrates Christmas. Don't when you tell me Merry Christmas, I'm not going to get offended, of course. I know you mean well. But that's not my holiday. That's not what I celebrate. But on the other hand, I don't mind wishing you a Merry Christmas if I know you celebrate it, and I don't mind sending you a Christmas card.
The example that's used a lot, and I like it, is the concept of happy birthday. That if it's Josh's birthday, we all show up and we tell Josh happy birthday, but we don't feel the need for everybody to say happy birthday to everybody else. It's not everyone else's birthday. So, it's your holiday. So Merry Christmas. Absolutely. You have a great time on your birthday, on your holiday. But don't, to Yechiel's point, don't insist that everybody celebrate, their birthday on your birthday. Because that's not how things work.
I think after this episode, we're going to have to start a business where we hire ourselves out as event planners for corporations that want to be both unoffensive reasonably no, never mind. It wouldn't work.
It's still 2019,
Okay, so something that we hit on earlier that is interesting to me is, again, trying to be unoffensive. One technique that especially HR departments try to do is, again, to create this false reciprocality of things. So, we're going to put up, trees. They're holiday trees. They're holiday wreaths. They're holiday baubles, hanging from the ceiling and everything. But in order to be inclusive, we're also going to put a menorah next to the tree. I'm here to tell you that at no time is a menorah next to a Christmas tree an image that makes any sense to anybody except perhaps the people working in HR. It's not a thing. It does not make me feel more included. Again, Hanukkah was 3 weeks ago, Chad. Don't need to have that menorah there. You're not, it's your holiday. And I've actually gotten into conversations with HR, not in my current job. It was a while ago when I was a little bit more loudmouthed about things and perhaps had less impulse control. Right, less than I have now. I know, it's a shock. And I actually got into it with the folks in HR, and they said, but they're not Christmas decorations, they're holiday decorations. There is no holiday that I celebrated any time of the year that has decorations like this. Please, let's be intellectually honest about this.
So I have an authentic question. What would be your preference? So my heritage or my beliefs trend toward Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Would you prefer for Christmas to just be, hey, like this, we're going to have Christmas stuff, but then how do we handle it on the other side? Like, do we need to have a celebration for every holiday? Because I have noticed some companies doing that, right? They will celebrate, Diwali. They will celebrate, Hanukkah. They will celebrate Kwanzaa. They will have every single holiday represented. Is that the right route to go?
To have an ofrenda for Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, I mean, so again, we're going to have a section where we try to solve this, but I think that what you're getting at is there seems to be, I'm not saying there is, but there seems to be two options: do nothing or do everything. And I think there's some other options there, but my preference, and this is my personal preference, this is independent of a religious outlook or whatever, is that if the company feels it's important to make a display around the December timeframe, great. You're talking about Christmas. Go do it.
I like that.
Don't pretend. That'll be my thing. And I am very much, from a Jewish standpoint, I am very much please include me out. Like, I am actually more comfortable personally not having a company that isn't intrinsically a Jewish, knowledgeable group of folks try to put something together which is always back to the food conversation. You're going to work really, really hard trying to buy kosher food, and you're not going to do it. And I'm going to tell you missed, and you're going to be offended because you tried so hard, and I'm just ungrateful. So in the same way, like, you're going to try really, really hard to decorate for my holiday, and something is going to not match up somewhere. You're going to say, but they were Hanukkah tree decorations. Doesn't that work? No. The tree was the problem, and someone's going to feel frustrated that they had put this effort and I'm still being ungrateful.
I think if we were to look at this from the reciprocal, right? And so last week, Leon, we talked about your trip to Israel.
Uh-huh.
If we weren't in North America, if we were in Israel, should I make the choice to be offended by Jewish celebrations or celebrations of my Muslim coworkers because Christianity is not the predominant religion? Or, I think we need to think about things in that way. I need to stop saying, well, because Christianity is the predominant religion in North America, blah, 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 and say, well, what if it wasn't? How would I want to be treated? And then just act like that. I mean, there I go trying to solve a thing. I know.
Okay, and it sounds like we're in the problem-solving section, which is great, and I think it's about time. But actually, I haven't lived in Israel enough during the holidays to even know what offices look like during any of the normative Jewish holidays. Yechiel, I don't know if you have any experience with that.
From following Ben Greenberg's Twitter account, it seems like companies will have a Hanukkah party. I don't think they have Christmas parties. They probably have a New Year's party because that's just universal. I mean, obviously, everyone celebrates Hanukkah in Israel, or at least the 80% of the country that's Jewish. So yeah, I would say Hanukkah in Israel is sort of like Christmas in America, where it's just everywhere.
Right. It's just at different times. It's at different times of the calendar.
Yeah,
So-
I'm saying in terms of how pervasive it is.
All right. So, Josh, I want to circle back to the question you asked before. Now we're speaking directly to the company. What are the correct options? What can we do to fix this? And again, we said there's the do nothing, which I think is an option, right? We're talking about the dreaded office holiday party. So we can say don't have them.
I'm definitely on that team. I mean, but that's due to not just a religious reason, just, all the reasons we mentioned, like also at the beginning of the stage, like, I don't know, I feel like they're more trouble than they're worth. I mean, before I got into programming, I worked at a Jewish company in Williamsburg, and they didn't have a holiday party. Instead, they gave a present they would give everyone a pretty nice, decently priced present around the holiday time. In addition, they also give like a holiday bonus around Passover and Sukkot, which was totally not tied to your performance bonus, which was a completely different thing. Like everyone would get, it was small. I think it was like $250 maybe, but it was just a nice extra, something special. I just think employees would be happier if instead of spending all that money on a party that no one wants to go to anyway, they would find some more creative way to use that money. But yeah, we're not talking about that. Let's talk to companies who are having a party.
Well, okay, but again, not doing it, and you've just offered some alternatives of, okay, so if we're not doing that, like, what do we do? Do we just say it's a regular set of work days and, tough luck? Because that feels, to use a Christian concept, it feels very Scrooge-ish. Yeah. To, bah humbug, So, but you just said, you recognize...
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, most holiday parties aren't on Christmas, are they? I mean, at least not at my companies I've been to.
Correct. No, they're usually at the lead up to...
I mean, Christmas is a day off, and New Year's is a day off, and sometimes the week in between is also off, so it's not like a regular work day anyway.
So I'm completely on board with Yechiel on this one. I think that companies should really ask themselves, do we need to hold a holiday party or Christmas party? So I work for New Relic. New Relic is a global company. I have colleagues that are in Europe, me in Canada, colleagues stretched across the United States. How do you get people together when a significant portion of your workforce works remote from their home offices? I mean, I can have a party, but it's going to be a party of one.
Right. Which may be the best party of all.
Right. So instead, I like the idea of saying to your employees, like, look, in lieu of a party, because it just doesn't work logistically, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you some money. You can do with it whatever you want. If you want to use it to, augment your own earnings, great. If you want to go out and donate it to charity, great. If you want to shred it, you do whatever you want with it. I mean, that allows people who want to amplify their Christmas celebrations to do that, or if they time it right, their Hanukkah celebrations, or there are no celebrations at all.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to strongly correct you on this one. If you as a company decide, if you as an individual who's received cash, your immediate urge is to shred that money, please consider sponsoring an episode of Technically Religious. We will just send it to us. We will dispose of that money for you appropriately.
Alternatively, you can just send it to me. I have a professional shredding service I do on the side. It'll be shredded completely. Nothing will be left within a few minutes.
How many kids do you have?
5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is effectively shredding your money. Yeah. Right. It's diapers and tuition. Yeah. The whole thing. It's gone.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't. Don't worry about how it got gone. Okay. Sorry. I just need to jump in. Like shredding money. No. Sponsoring Technically Religious. Absolutely. Or send it to Yechiel. And you can find his information in the show notes.
Did you just equate giving us money to sponsor an episode with shredding your money?
No, I'm saying it's a better option.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that you weren't insinuating that sponsoring an episode of Technically Religious was as worthless as shredding your money.
No, I would never say something like that. Also, but as we were preparing for the episode, we also talked about, again, the part of the challenge with the holiday party is all the emotions and all the sort of expectations that come with it. And those are layered on top of the emotions and expectations that we have at this holiday time of year overall. And I think that someone brought up the idea of not having a party, just don't have it now. Have it, at another time of year. You can have I'm not a big fan of Christmas in July, but having a summer kickoff holiday party, a pre-vacation, to use the European term, pre-holiday party might be an interesting idea. Or you could do it at the company's fiscal end of year. If it doesn't match up with the calendar end of year, you could do that. So I think it would make the accounting department even more excited that the rhythm that they hold to is something the company is now acknowledging in a meaningful way.
I had friends that would celebrate the summer solstice and the winter solstice. Now, granted, the winter solstice happens to fall very close to, the Christian Christmas. But, hey, celebrate them both. That's two parties.
Right.
Instead of one.
Right. At both of them. And you can do the standing the egg up, and you can do all those different things.
Right.
Right. That would be, that's it. It's as meaningful or as exciting as some of the holiday traditions that we've developed over the last 50 years in America as well. So any other solutions that we have to offer organizations or HR departments that are trying to figure out this problem called the office holiday party?
So I would say, assuming the holiday party is not going away, I think the one single thing that can go the furthest towards making parties feel more inclusive to everyone is cutting out the alcohol. And not just for Muslims or people or Mormons or people who won't drink alcohol for religious reasons. I think just like so many of the problems that can come up at parties, either caused or exacerbated by the presence of alcohol and people having a little bit too much. I think just that one little step can just go to a huge way towards making so many people feel much more comfortable.
Right, about attending at all. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that to that point, it's not just a religious thing. You've got recovering alcoholics who maybe don't want to out themselves as recovering alcoholics at this holiday party to all of their coworkers who maybe aren't friends, they're just coworkers. You've got people who maybe have lost someone to drunk driving or have a spouse who's an alcoholic. It's just the things that you uncap by having and again, this is a mandatory attend, right? You must attend this holiday party because you're part of the team, right? Josh, you're going to show up, and then we're also going to make this a alcohol-laden event. It's just really problematic. Back when I didn't drink, I would attend events and then would always leave early. Leave early because I was like, okay, everyone's had enough alcohol that they're not going to remember that we left.
Right, exactly.
And then you just leave, and then it becomes an abbreviated evening for you. You don't get to enjoy. I'm one of those people who I will go to a party. Yes, they are. I am an introvert mostly. They are rather exhausting for me, but I will go because I do enjoy getting out of the house every so often. And it just, I'm with you, Yechiel. Let's either really curtail the alcohol or just not serve it at all.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of don't serve it at all. Just don't. Okay, any final words before we wrap up?
Adam Sandler's song about the Hanukkah song, offensive or not?
It is not part of my Hanukkah playlist. It's probably right up there with what is it? The Christmas donkey song.
Dominic, the Italian Christmas donkey. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Still also a no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was asking. I was curious. Yechiel, do you listen to it? Is Leon the only curmudgeon here?
I would say it was entertaining, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's part of my Hanukkah celebrations.
Perfect.
Thanks for making time for us this week. To hear more of Technically Religious, visit our website, technicallyreligious.com, where you can find our other episodes, leave us ideas for future discussions, and connect us on social media. Hey Josh, how was the last Christmas party you attended?
I passed through the 7 levels of the candy cane forest, through the sea of swirly, twirly gumdrops, and then I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel.
Wait, is there sugar in gumdrops?